Hey guys, I just finished chapter one of SICP and I had a few thoughts that I wanted to talk about. Also, I just want to apologize about like the flashing screen, the flashing terminal, and my PDF viewer coming in and out. It's a little jarring, and I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen when I record chapter two. Anyway, coming to the book, this is a book you really need to sit down with another book and a pen because I feel like it's so much easier to um, draw things out rather than typing things out. Some of the exercises of the book, it really doesn't make sense to you unless you can like see it. At least for me, and like seeing recursive calls on paper or like even drawing out the parentheses, and there's a lot of parens in scheme code, makes everything click, especially in the early exercises. Also, the exercises, the most important part of the book. Like, you think you get an idea, and then like you work on the exercises, and you realize you know nothing. So yeah, I highly recommend working through the exercises. There were a couple that I struggled with because the book is pretty math heavy, and the last time I did calculus was in 12th grade, which is like a while ago. So yeah, definitely feeling bottlenecked by the math, but apparently the later chapters, even though they get harder, they aren't harder because of the math. So looking forward to chapter two and onward. Also, I was watching this guy called Stepanov online. He's got a few lectures on YouTube. Pretty famous guy because I mean he's worked on the C++ standard library, so he knows what he's talking about. And he was talking about how typing speed isn't a bottleneck and you should always think before you type. And I really have to take this advice to heart because there were so many times where I would look at a problem and then just jump into the editor and start typing away, typing as I thought through a solution. And I feel like I would be able to solve so many of the problems so much more quicker if I just took my time and thought through what I was doing before I started working on the problem. So yeah, this is gonna be what I do for chapter two onwards. I mean, I did sort of start implementing it towards the later exercises of chapter one, and it did help. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to share. Oh, also in in the subscribe of the book, and Stepnov as well, honestly, they keep talking about Knuth and how, according to Knuth, or Knuth says, or described by Knuth. And I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, I know he's a pretty important a person in the field of computer science, but I haven't really read any of his work, and I don't think uh, I do want to read the art of computer programming or art of computer programs, but I don't think I have the prerequisites for the book just yet. But something to aspire to for sure. Um, yeah, and also love how this book just builds upon smaller blocks. So you start with like uh, you start with like simple procedures and then you abstract them away, and then you build on top of that, and then you build on top of that. Like abstracting away procedures was, I think, the main idea behind chapter one. And I read a page or two of chapter two, and I think abstracting data away is going to be uh, the highlight of chapter two. Uh, I think we're finally going to introduce data structures as well, because in the first chapter we don't even use variables. I mean, we do, but they introduced only on page 85. Like the let statement is introduced only on page 85. You do have like you can, I guess, define a variable with define, but we don't really I don't think I used it at all in the earlier exercises. So pretty cool what you can do with so little. Uh, Apart from that, scheme, not too hard to learn. I mean, the book teaches you as you go, and I think it's a good language to learn programming since there's not much to think about. Like, you just have simple operations and simple data, and you operate on the data, and I think that's what the book is trying to teach you about. Or even if it's teaching about abstractions, it tells you why something can be done a certain way and how to improve upon it, like how you introduce the recursion and then tail call optimized recursion. Um, I found that part a little hard, honestly. Like going from pre-recursive calls to tail call recursion, or rewriting a program that was tail call optimized to just linear recursion. It took a minute for that to click, but glad I did the exercises, and I do think everything makes so much more sense in my head right now. I should probably make Anki flashcards though, because uh, I don't think I'll forget the stuff in the chapter anytime soon. But I've heard that uh, easier to keep things in my head with space repetition, and don't want to forget anything that I've learned in this chapter. So yeah, that's all for this week. Hopefully, I'll have a good chunk of chapter 2 done by next week, and I'll make sure that my screen doesn't flash as much. There's like a really cool plugin called Conjure for Racket and Scheme and other Lisps, but I disabled it I think like a day or two in, because it was consuming like a lot of RAM. The LSP was taking like 1 GB RAM, but I don't know if that was Conjure's fault. So gonna I'm gonna enable that again, and hopefully no more flashing screens. Alright guys, that's all for now. Catch you guys later. Bye bye.